Last year, we reviewed Fujifilm's second GFX100 mirrorless medium format camera, and we were impressed by its video performance. So impressed, in fact, that we feel compelled to circle back and really dive into some of its video capabilities. Between numerous resolutions, aspect ratios, and recording codecs, the second GFX100 has enough video features to rival some cinema cameras. This is especially surprising because medium format cameras are typically overlooked for video production, even though they're viewed as the pinnacle of photography sensor formats. So today, we're going to put the GFX100 through its paces to see if this medium format camera can compete with cinema cameras. First, let's talk about the sensor size. Fujifilm's GF sensor is 43.8 by 32.9 millimeters, which is larger than full frame and VistaVision, but not as large as 65 or IMAX 70mm format. If you're coming from full frame filmmaking, this will result in a 0.79 crop factor when using the full sensor, which again means that it's larger than full frame. And therein lies one of the intriguing features of this camera. It has a menu option called Image Format that allows you to replicate smaller sensor sizes on the GFX100 II. There are 4 options. GF utilizes the full GFX100 II sensor. Premista replicates VistaVision sensors such as those found on the Red Monstro VistaVision or ARRI-LF. 35mm approximates full frame sensors, and Anamorphic 35 offers anamorphic de-squeezing to the full frame sensor area. These sensor cropping options make the GFX100 II extremely flexible for filmmakers because they are not locked into using GF glass on the camera. The camera can crop the sensor to match the lens coverage of VistaVision lenses like Fujinon's Premista series, full frame cinema lenses, or even full frame anamorphic lenses. With the right adapter, you can adapt any DSLR or vintage glass to the second GFX100 so long as it covers full frame or larger sensors. The one caveat is there are a few resolutions that result in additional crop factors than the normal image format option. To mitigate this, Fuji lists the crop factor relative to the GF sensor size in the top left corner so that you're always aware of how the recording mode will affect your image. Next, let's get into resolutions and aspect ratios. The camera can record in 8K, 4K, and Full HD in 16:9 and 17:9 aspect ratios, 5.8K and 2.35:1, 5.4K and 17:9, 4.8K and 3:2, and 16:9. And finally, for anamorphic filming, it can record in 8K 2.76:1 and 4.6K and 1.38:1 aspect ratios. It's safe to say that Fuji gives filmmakers a ton of flexibility when it comes to resolution and aspect ratios on this camera. Anamorphic shooters will also appreciate that you can preview the image de-squeezed in camera for 1.3, 1.33, 1.5, 1.8, and 2x anamorphic. The only thing that is more extensive than this camera's resolutions and aspect ratio options are the recording options. The camera can record video to CF Express Type B and SD UHS 2 card slots internally, output via HDMI to a RAW recorder, or output directly to an SSD via USB-C. Once you've chosen where you want to record your video, you can select the compression and subsampling. And after that, you can choose the bitrate. Between long GOP and all intro, there are tons of bit rates to choose from, ranging from as low as 50 megabits per second to as high as 720 megabits per second. In ProRes, you can choose between HQ, 422, and LT. And for RAW output, after choosing between ProRes RAW and Blackmagic RAW, you can choose the compression on your recorder of choice. For our demo shoot, we chose to film our musician's performance anamorphic in 8K Blackmagic RAW to a video assist. We love the idea of filming the performance anamorphic to separate it from the rest of the video, and we chose to shoot that RAW because we wanted the extra flexibility to combat the bright sunlight coming in through the windows in the background. De-squeezing the image in camera for monitoring made life so much easier, especially when shooting with an 1.8 anamorphic. Shooting RAW gave us a bit more flexibility when it came to controlling highlights, which we will explore a bit later. While we could have shot everything B-RAW, we really wanted to test out as many of the camera's features as possible, so we switched it up to ProRes and all intro for the remaining shots. Our rig was particularly helpful for this because it stored the SanDisk Pro blade in the top handle, making it accessible to the camera for recording directly to the SSD or to the video assist for Blackmagic RAW. The autofocus was very fast and accurate, and we relied on it a few times for rack focusing. For a few shots where we wanted manual control, I appreciated that the GF lenses use a linear focus drive motor, which is much more accurate for video than non-linear focus-by-wire systems. Throwing the GFX100 II on a gimbal was very straightforward. It's about the size of a professional DSLR, so it was no problem for a gimbal like the DJI RS3 Pro. We stripped down our camera rig, losing the top handle and base plate to keep it lightweight, and paired it with Fuji's GF 55mm f1.7R WR lens. Naturally, this meant that we recorded internally to the CF Express card instead of to the SSD stored in the top handle. Finally, when not using the 35mm anamorphic mode for our anamorphic lenses, we primarily shot in the GF format to take advantage of the full field of view of our GF lenses. But we did use a crop modes on the gimbal to get tighter shots without having to swap out the 55mm f1.7. Moving on to post-production, the footage that we shot in B-RAW gave us a ton of headroom to recover highlights that looked clipped in the monitor. Fuji's GFX100 II doesn't offer controls like changing the ISO or color processing, but it still retains all the raw data from the sensor, so I had a ton of room to manipulate the image on the color page. We really pushed the sensor on this shoot, and we were able to recover almost all the highlights between the exposure slider and the highlight recovery tool. When we were not shooting in Blackmagic RAW, we were often filming in ProRes HQ because it's easy for our computer to process. However, we did switch to the all-intra 10-bit 422 codec at 720 megabits per second for a few shots just to try it out. Regarding color, we captured all the ProRes and all-intra footage in F-Log2 and applied the F-Log2 F-Gamma to wide dynamic range BT Rec 709 LUT that is available on Fuji's website to get us started on the look for our video. We had a lot of fun working with the second GFX100, and we hope you enjoy the results.
I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing. I've plenty of, pretty baby. Dream a while, scheme a while, we're sure to find that happiness. And I guess all those things that you've always pined for, gee, I'd like to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets that Woolworths doesn't sell, pretty baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, pretty baby, I can't give you anything but love. Gee, I'd like to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets that Woolworths doesn't sell, pretty baby. No, 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 no. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, pretty baby, I can't give you anything but love. Oh no, I can't give you anything but love. I can't give you anything but love.
Fuji's GFX100 II is about as medium format as it gets. The sensor is decidedly larger than full-frame and VistaVision sensors, yet smaller than 65mm or IMAX format. For some, this may feel like a drawback because Fujifilm's G-mount lens selection pales in comparison to the thousands of available full-frame options in every mount from EF to M42. But in my experience with the camera, it doesn't change the fact that Fujifilm's second GFX100 has some great applications for video. First and foremost, the image quality and color processing from the camera is stellar. Fuji has always delivered excellent film emulations that remove the digital edge of modern cameras. Next, the camera offers a ton of control over your recording. Whether internal, external to an SSD, or HDMI out to a RAW recorder, there's no shortage of options when it comes to recording. The crop modes on this camera are also well thought out. On one hand, it empowers users to adapt their favorite lenses to the GFX100 camera body without vignetting. On the other hand, it helps the GFX100 play nice with others if someone intends to incorporate the GFX100 II on a shoot with cinema cameras that use VistaVision or full-frame sensors. And finally, the GFX100 II is packed with features that will satisfy all sorts of shooters. Autofocus and image stabilization for run and gun shooters, waveform, vector scopes, and more for cinema and creative shooters. So while I can't say that there will be a trend of medium format cinema cameras on the horizon, it's pretty clear that Fujifilm believes that medium format can do more than just photography. But hey, what are your thoughts on Fujifilm's second GFX100's video capabilities? Can you see yourself shooting your next film on a medium format cinema camera? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Jabari with B&H. Have a lovely day.